Hi and welcome to part 2 of another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. Can't even think of the name of it. In any case, I've got to get this second one out. There may even be a part 3, I don't know. It depends on how long I talk for, I guess. Anyway, I'll start with this comment in my latest one by Andromedac. I hope that's pronounced right. And if you look, he says somewhere around here that Steve Fambro had an interview and said the reason they weren't going to hub motors was because they didn't have the ability and wouldn't risk developing the inverters. And yet he says in their own March 30th, 2023 update, claimed to have the industry's best inverter. Now, I recall him bragging about it, but I was really pleased that Andromedac had provided the video where I could record it and show you about how they bragged about their inverters. Strangely enough, you can see here, 7 hours ago, I've been out all morning and I've just come back. 7 hours ago, I've said you're helping me with the remaining parts of this particular video because I had already done this "we can't develop an inverter" claim and had recorded earlier that I recalled a few places where a long time ago they had bragged about their inverters and other electronic parts. So I was really looking forward to this, but when I went into this one, looking for that video by APTERA Motors, I get this February 2023, but then no March. And in fact, we have a February APTERA update. I checked it, that's not in there. He said it was March, so I went looking for March, couldn't see it. They'd skipped March, then had the April one. So I looked in there, there's nothing to do with it. And then I just kept looking further for the next update after that. And lo and behold, they didn't do another one until September 2023. No March, no May, June, July or August. So I don't know where Andromedac has got it from because it's not in the APTERA Motors list of videos. But any rational person would just have a think and go, how is it that they have 5 moving prototypes with in-wheel motors and they don't have problems with the inverters? What's wrong with the inverters in those 5 prototypes? They don't need to develop one. So this story that they are afraid of developing an inverter that works for in-wheel motors is just a big fat lie. In fact, an inverter, all it does is switch either from DC to AC or AC to DC. So there's nothing very complex about it as far as an electronics component goes. Fambro and Anthony really treat their customers as extremely gullible fools if they think they can get away with a lie that big.
Steve here. This month we've made monumental progress on our production intent vehicle builds. PI2 is progressing well, and we've ordered parts for PI3 and PI4, all of which are planned to be built this summer. But first, I'd like to thank our investors, and accelerators can expect to receive their final delivery position at the end of August. It's a privilege to be on this journey with you, and part of this journey is seeing the changes as soon as we're able to announce them while honoring supplier relations. So we're excited to share that APTERA has integrated Tesco Technologies' EMR3 drivetrain into our production vehicles. Although we originally planned to launch with an in-wheel motor solution, the development time required for this technology did not align with our scheduled launch window for customer deliveries. Now, I want to emphasize this change ensures our ability to deliver APTERA vehicles in 2025. Now, let's get into the exciting plans we have for the rest of the summer. We're building 3 new PI vehicles, each serving a different purpose. The goal of these vehicles is to progressively add more and more production content and functionality until we have a complete vehicle that has been tested and validated and made available for test rides for our reservation holders across the United States. You saw some of the work we've been doing on PI1 in the last monthly update. PI2 will be our first drivable vehicle and will end up becoming one of our track testing vehicles to validate our suspension, drivetrain, and battery in the real world. This is a vehicle that we aim to do range testing with and prove out many of our efficiency numbers. The battery for PI2 is assembled. All individual components for PI2, including the wiring harness and the drivetrain, have been bench tested and are ready to be installed into the physical vehicle.
Get that? All of the parts are there. So they can't go saying they're waiting on supplies. They can't say they can't get something because he's saying all of them are ready.
All individual components for PI2, including the wiring harness and the drivetrain, have been bench tested and are ready to be installed into the physical vehicle. In August, we'll be building PI2 and fixing the battery and assembling the Bink parts to make it drive in low-speed scenarios. The team is striving to have this completed by the end of August, assuming no unforeseen supplier delays. Now, we've also gotten the production glass for PI2 all the way through PI4, including the windshields and the window glass.
So there you have it. When these things are going to be driving around, they'll have all the glass. They've got it for 2, 3, and 4. He's saying it's there, so there's no excuse not to have it in the PIs.
I'm thrilled to see more production parts from real-world Tier 1 suppliers arriving every day.
Last week, we received 2 large crates from our partner CPC Group in Italy containing the Bink parts for PI2, 3, and 4. This includes every part for our body structure, from the tub, which is the largest carbon fiber SMC part in the world, to the rear wheel skirt. Of course, you can't build a vehicle without a chassis. We have the chassis for PI2 right here in Carlsbad.
So there it is, the chassis all there, and way back in August it was being assembled. How long does it take to assemble a chassis? Yet in the September update, what they showed was a piece of a chassis, just a piece.
And we're assembling it as we speak. Although these chassis parts are production geometry, they are not production pieces.
If you listen elsewhere, I'm not sure which part it is, but Steve Fambro says everything is production pieces. So the two CEOs are at odds with each other. Liars always get caught out.
These parts are machined. Our low-pressure forged and extruded parts won't arrive until later this year. In summary, a lot is coming together in the next few weeks, making for an exciting time for APTERA fans. Next month is going to be a big update.
Next month, September update, was a disappointing update. Nothing big about it. Not much done, nothing to show. An absolute fizzer.
It's exciting to now be counting in days instead of months.
What are they counting in days instead of months?
A lot's going to happen, and we can't wait to share it with you. See you soon.